Hey everybody, it's Robert coming to you with another adventure into history, and today I am in Harris County, Georgia, specifically at the old Rockola Primitive Baptist Church. This is a historic African-American church that dates back to 1914. It was in the community of Ridgeway, but by 1914 when this church was established, Ridgeway had pretty much ceased to exist. The community of Ridgeway was largely blown away by a tornado that came through in the late 1800s. But this church was established here in 1914, and today we're going to be taking a look at the graveyard that is associated with the church, because there are some really amazing historic stones there. So let's jump in and have a look at this history. So this is the historic church building, and it is still an active church, which is good to see. We've seen so many of these small churches that have fallen by the wayside and go into abandonment. This looks like the original building from the shape of it. It has more modern windows and vinyl siding on it. And I thought what was neat is in the foundation stone here, which has been concreted over, it says Jesus in 1914. I don't know if that was done originally in 1914 or not, but probably so. And isn't that neat to see? And fun fact for you, I actually grew up not too far away from where this church is today, and it's one of these places that I've driven by so many times and never really stopped to look at or think about the history of. It's funny how sometimes the history that's right in front of us, the historic sites that are right in front of us, are the ones that we pay the least amount of attention to. The cemetery here is really amazing. But there's some really cool history here, and it looks like there's still some modern burials that are happening too. So it's always good to see a kept up cemetery. We see so many that are abandoned and in terrible disrepair. But what I came specifically to look at today is this row of graves right here. Now that's a concrete marker, and that's a concrete marker too. But look at this amazing tall fieldstone here. And it's just natural rock marking this grave. But it's engraved. And if you've been watching Adventures into History, you know that I've taken a special interest in documenting engraved fieldstones. And we're going to come back and read the engravings, but there's another one right here. Also an engraved fieldstone. Another one here. We don't know about that one. We'll look at that one. And then, interestingly enough, another one here. I'm surprised that this one has an engraved fieldstone, because with the concrete top on it, I would expect this to be more modern and past the time that people would be using the engraved fieldstones like that. Usually the engraved fieldstones are pretty early, so it'll be interesting to see the dates on this. And there is an eastern fence lizard on the stone, and there he went. So we're going to come back and read these graves in just a moment, but I thought first we'd just kind of walk around the cemetery and look at any of the other historic graves that are here. There's a lot of kind of modern burials here as well, because this place is still in use and it's well kept. Let's look at this one. This is concrete, hand engraved concrete from 1955. I think maybe that's Lula, possibly. Lula Walter, maybe, died August 5th, 1955. Then another engraved fieldstone here, or not engraved fieldstone, hand marked concrete here. Reverend T.T. Hollis, born June 16th, year 1872, died January 10th, year 1941. Now it's interesting to see is he's got a concrete stone over him as well that is stamped versus the hand engraved concrete here. I think the hand engraved concrete is always really special though, because that's a direct connection to whoever actually marked that. Another piece of concrete here. And you see a lot of this hand engraved concrete, especially in African American burials, during a time when for the African American community, especially down here in the South, this was really all that they could afford, and there weren't a lot of options for them. So you see this in lieu of marble a lot, this use of concrete. This is, the light's going to do us no good because it's in the direct sun here. Let me see if maybe I can cast a shadow on it. Frank, I cannot, Marshall, that's a very common name around here. Died November 15th, 1938. We have, of course, been to the old Marshall plantation. All right, so we're going to move back up here to these engraved fieldstones and take a look at them, because those are what I really came to see and are so interesting. And I think we'll be able to read those pretty well because they are shaded from the bright afternoon sun. I'll start down here at the end with this one. The lizard is back, about to disturb him again. Let's see. Susie. It looks like the last name is Sedon. Died April 10th, 38. So 1938 here. Susie, I think that's Sedon. It's not a surname I'm very familiar with in this area. I wanted to look at this fieldstone. It's a very small one. Just see whether it was engraved on the other side, and it was not. So I'm just going to put it back exactly like it was. But this one is as well. This says JJ and 36 on it. This is just initials, RMS. Died May 18th. I see a 30, but what is that date on there? Or what is the other number on there? 31, maybe? I think 31. So all 1930s on these. This one just initials again, SS. Died March 22nd. 31 or 37? Probably 31, I believe. Hand engraved, very well hand engraved into this natural fieldstone. Isn't that amazing? Maybe Seldon is the last name. That looks like what it is. And the first name, I cannot read the first name on that. Let me try to shadow it if I can, and I'll put some light on it, and maybe y'all at home can make something out that I can't. Seldon, the last name, February 12th, 1939. Frank Seldon died April 7th, 1940. And then a little child here, same last name, I can make that out, 1942. And then this is the same family back here, it's 1980 for her. This is hand engraved concrete too. Sammy Lee Seldon, October 2nd, 1951. And Annie Lee, different last name though. Let me see if I can put my shadow on it and let y'all at home read it. I can't make it out, but I think it's Winfield maybe. Death date is March 19th, 1958. I'm going to assume that she was probably a Seldon, and that's her married name, Whitfield. Whitfield was her last name. Sam, this is broken concrete. Sammy Seldon, 1929. Does I say 1970 for a death date? Born, I think that says 1970, but this is concrete, hand engraved concrete, but it's just about gone, isn't it? And we have 1998. And this is interesting, Woodrow Seldon, but then over here we have Selman, S-E-L-M-A-N, and Annie Lee Selman. So mother and daughter here. It's kind of interesting to see that similar but different name, S-E-L-M-A-N there, S-E-L-D-O-N here. So very interesting little family plot right here that's very close, that continues very close to modern times. Have Walter Walton, Georgia, Private U.S. Army, World War I veteran. June 25th, 1893 to December 31st, 1968. And I wanted to take a look at this child here too, a stamped concrete. Velma M. Willis, born December 1944. Born December 1944? December 18th, 44, is that? Yeah, born December 18th, 44, died December 19th, 44. How tragic is that? Velma M. Willis, just a little infant. Well, this is a very fascinating cemetery, and one that I've driven by so many times throughout my life, never stopped and really looked at. Lots of familiar names here and some unfamiliar names. I think the engraved fieldstones are really cool. I've been intentionally trying to document some of those, so it's really cool to see those here and document that. And like that one piece of concrete that's almost completely broken we've got that documented before it goes away. I also see Hamp Marshall, and that name sounds really familiar to me. Died in 1982. Maybe that's someone Dan has mentioned before. Amazing old cemetery here. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back with more adventures into history. And last thought, isn't that just such a beautiful church over there? We'll see you next time.